against women has been a topical issue in many fora as one of the most severe forms of discrimination against women. Officials commended King for his creativity in carrying information this vital on a rather unusual medium.
This is a wonderful moment to reflect on, to see a Gambian artist turning informations into reality. The information that the Vice President has been sharing at that forum, maybe all do not have the time to listen to the real sense of the information properly. But an artist with his creativity transforming it into a lyrical song where people can sit in their houses and listen with pleasure, I think that will help a long way to transform some of those informations. I think it's there is a kudos for Martin for doing a wonderful job, and we applaud that.
That message from the Vice President, even people who were not in New York, or who are not, who didn't know about what she was saying in New York, when they listen to the song, they will, the message will filter down to them and to their families and to their friends and, you know, to all Gambians. So we want to thank you very, very much, because gender-based violence is the worst violence that you can talk of.
The Vice President and Minister of Women's Affairs expanded on the sensitivity of violence against women, saying it must be addressed with a multisectoral approach to involve all players. Gender-based violence, in her words, is perpetuated by both sexes, and it is unacceptable.
Impunity cannot go on. It must be addressed. And I think as a globe we must come together and put pressure and ensure that really whoever does that is punished, because you have destroyed somebody's life forever at some point or the other. Imagine a 5-year-old baby, I mean, an innocent child like that, you know, I mean, those sorts of things cannot be allowed. But as I say, when we address the issue of violence again, let's look at the other side as well. Let's help the victim, or the perpetrator rather, because not only the victim, because sometimes the perpetrator is disturbed as well. Sometimes you blame them for what they can. I think society should be blamed rather than the individual sometimes. I'm not saying all the time. Sometimes it's deliberate, and it should be punishable at all times. But at other times, you have to look at the psychological. I think Fanta knows just what I'm talking about, and any psychologist or sociologist or psychiatrist knows that as development goes ahead, you have a lot of people disturbed in society.
The Vice President also held discussions with the steering committee of the Network Against Gender-Based Violence, who briefed Madam Jai Saidi on their ongoing efforts to reduce incidences of violence against women in the country. For GRTS News, I am Aji Amisise.
The 53rd Ordinary Session of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights closed Tuesday with a call by Commissioner Catherine Dupe Atoki, chairperson of the Commission, on state parties and stakeholders to collectively promote and protect human rights in Africa. The two-week convergence brought together delegates on human rights activists from across Africa to review and discuss the human rights situation on the continent. Mamadou Jallow attended the closing ceremony and reports that whilst many people acknowledge the positive strides registered, many others are still appalled by the worsening human rights situation in some African countries.
The 53rd Ordinary Session of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights attracted delegates and NGOs from across Africa to draw attention on human rights issues on the continent. After 2 weeks of discussions and side events, the Commission finally drew the curtain on proceedings, with speakers underlining the need to strengthen the advocacy and intensify the fight against human rights abuse in Africa. Catherine Dupe Atoki, chairperson of the African Commission on Human and People's Rights, acknowledged that positive strides have been registered in the area of human rights, citing the outcome of the peaceful and generally free elections in Ghana, Zimbabwe, and Kenya. She, however, frowned on the continued human rights abuses in Mali, Central African Republic, and the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo, where widespread violations continue unabated. Commissioner Dupe Atoki called on state parties as guarantors of human rights to institute wide-ranging reforms to protect and entrench human rights values in their respective countries.
I therefore take this opportunity to once again call on all state parties to fulfill their obligations under international human rights law and ensure respect for the promotion of human rights. State parties are primary guarantors of human rights. It is imperative, therefore, that member states redouble their efforts by undertaking wide-ranging reforms in order that governance and human rights landscape of our country continue to be transformed.
She also called on other stakeholders such as NGOs to strengthen their cooperation with the Commission, saying human rights is a collective responsibility and therefore no one should be a bystander. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice, Lamin Jabate, opened that the session provided participants the opportunity to discuss human rights issues in Africa and reiterated the Gambia government's commitment to the principles of the Commission and the protection and promotion of human rights.
I congratulate and commend the Commission and the African Union for attaining and celebrating its Golden Jubilee. I call on all our brothers, all our African brothers and sisters to join the AU in celebrating this momentous occasion in African history in order to foster and consolidate our march towards a dignified, peaceful and integrated Africa. Consequently, I call on the AU member states to consolidate on the gains of all the preceding sessions towards the achievement of the Millennium Development Goals.
Justice Minister Jabari also paid tribute to Commissioner Dupe Atoki for her dedication and service to the Commission. These remarks effectively drew the curtain on the 53rd Ordinary Session of the Commission. The next session will be held in October in Banjul. Omar Jallo, GRTS.
As it endeavors to better people's lives at the national and international level through development projects, especially in the agriculture sector, International Fund for Agricultural Development IFAD, in partnership with Rural Finance Project, has recently launched microfinance application software at the Sukuta Visaka. The software, which is designed and developed by Nifty ICT Solutions for the Rural Finance Project, is meant for usage by all Visakas in the Gambia.
The Sukuta Village Savings Credit Association, through the collaborative efforts of International Fund for Agricultural Development and the Microfinance Project, has recently launched a microfinance application software. The Management Information System microfinance software, which is designed and developed by Nifty ICT Solutions, is tailor-made so as to create a synchronized and computerized system for the country's Visakas. The IFAD country program manager Moses Abubakar emphasized that the Visaka Management Information System is among their aims to strengthen the Gambia's microfinance industry.
MIS system is part of the bigger picture in terms of strengthening the capacity of the Visaka network in the country, which is also, as the project coordinator mentioned, linked to the industry-wide monitoring of microfinance in the country. So there's a linkage, and we believe that this is an important tool that needs to be supported.
The IFAD country representative further said that the application software will serve as a tool to address weaknesses as well as standardize and modernize the operations of the country's Visakas.
We believe that the system is going to address the weakness in the Visaka governance system by providing performance indicators, but also to indicate why the conditions are not improving or deteriorating in any Visaka in the network, because that is part of the whole way of doing things. And this will help in terms of the management and operation of the activities, both internally and externally.
Lamin Fatajo, who spoke on behalf of the Agriculture Minister, said among other things that Village Savings Credit Association, which was pioneered in the country in the 1980s, he said that 66 operating Visakas currently benefit over 35,000 people, most of whom are women, and 21 Visakas will be equipped with the microfinance application software.
Today, there are 74 existing Visakas, 66 of which are operational, with a deposit of 11.8 million and a loan portfolio of 24.4 million, benefiting 35,626 rural poor, 40% of which are women. Due to this increasing importance of Visaka system to the rural economy and national economy, Timely information provision has become second to